Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian and welcome to 3305. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. This week there appears to be problems with Canopy integrity, Commander Exiguous reveals how to make 250 million credits per hour, and the Interstellar Initiatives get underway with a very bizarre voting system. The April update brought with it a number of bugs and unintended changes. Some of these, as I've spoken about in a previous video, Frontier are looking into and fixing with hopefully a release this week. But there's also a few other changes that, well, seem very confusing. One in particular come to light very recently. This is the ship's canopy integrity. Currently showing as 15, this apparently was showing as 30 before the update. So all ships have decreased down to 15, and the Type 10 has decreased down to 25. Now unfortunately I don't have any before and after images, so I can't actually confirm this, but many people have noticed it. Now if you take a look at the issues tracker, and I've listed it below in the video description, you can see that this issue has been raised with Frontier. They haven't actually confirmed it or mentioned anything about it as yet, so it's extremely unclear as to what's happened. This may just be a visual display bug. It may also be an intentional change. I also noticed that a few people have stated that the canopies now break at a higher integrity, so something may be going on here. If you have any issues with this or have any more information, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, do check out the issues tracker, again linked below, and we can see what's going on from there. The mystery of Raxxla continues to interest many people. Most recent, Commander Fresh over at Reddit has posted a rather interesting thread there, stating that they've figured out something new about Raxxla, or at least a new clue. Now this comes from some text, some logs over on the Zurara ship, the megaship that was found a little while ago, and within the logs is a word which for no apparent reason is in quotes, hexedit. The poster over on Reddit went through some logic and some reasoning as to why they decided that this may well be a cryptographic keyword. Using this keyword to decipher the word Raxxla, the word Quartis comes out. Now there is a system in the game with this name, which seems more than just coincidental, so who knows, maybe it's worth investigating this particular area. At least that's the theory. So then, if you've got any interest in this and would like to hear more about how the author figured this out, then do go and look at the Reddit thread. It's linked in the video description below. Interstellar Initiatives, the new event-based gameplay that's replacing community goals, has at last kicked off, today being the 29th of April, the first day of these events. So, with these events being story-based, what's the story behind the first section of this? Well, this is the quote from the forums. In this first Interstellar Initiative, Sunday partners have identified 5 locations in Guardian space where they will not only set up an outpost, but fund the creation of a megaship ferry that will take commanders from the system of Sunday to a location voted for by the community. These are 5 locations, 4 of them are in the Synwave space, the 5th is IC 2391 sector. So the point is that this megaship ferry will carry players to one of these 5 systems. Players can vote on these systems. How do you vote? Well, you head to the forums and place your vote there. Players have 1 week to place the vote, and there will be a live stream from Frontier on Thursday called Stargazer, which will go through these individual systems and highlight the benefits or the pros and cons of each of them, therefore informing players of their potential choices. Now I do have some personal thoughts on this. I believe a lot of people do. People have been pretty vocal about it so far, so I am going to give an opinion on this, something I don't normally do in these news videos, but it's very relevant. So there are some big problems here as far as I see. Firstly, the vote is outside the game on the official Elite Dangerous forums. Now many players don't ever visit those forums, so it doesn't make much sense that the vote should be placed there or located there. And if the event is indeed so big inside the game world, why isn't it even referenced in game, let alone voted for in there? The second point is that there has been no context given on the systems. Now Frontier have said there's going to be a live stream later on from Frontier. They're also going to post a forum later today detailing what's going on in each of these systems. But ultimately, each of the systems are not that much different. It doesn't feel like you're particularly voting on anything of any significant consequence. I'm not a big fan of analogies, but in this particular case it feels like being offered a crate of apples and given the choice between one of whatever's in there. Either way, regardless of what you're going to choose, you're still going to get an apple. It's not really going to have any massive consequence on the outcome. Now here's another issue which for me is pretty much the biggest issue. There's no information on how this ferry system is even going to work or what the benefits are for it. So players are expected to vote on these systems, on what ones the ferries are going to go to, but really, why? What is the ferry going to do? How often will it jump? Does it need to be refueled by players before it makes the jump? What are the benefits of this ferry that we can't achieve by travelling there on our own? The bottom line is that none of this gives the players any reason to actually care about the Interstellar Initiatives. A story needs a hook. It needs a reason for players or readers to care. Whether that's from characters or whether that's from specific events doesn't really matter, as long as players have enough information and context to have an emotional, intellectual or financial investment in what's going on. And another point which really does underscore all of the above, there's no information on why players should want to even get involved with the Guardian ruins again. Sure, the implication is that there will be at some point a new Guardian hybrid technology, but what will it be? What does it gain us? What benefits are there for us getting involved with these events to unlock or gain access to these particular weapons, modules or equipment, assuming there's even going to be any? Now don't get me wrong, I'm not heading down the whole idea of the Interstellar Initiatives, I'm just simply saying that the information that has been put out there is not good enough. It doesn't give us any context, it doesn't really give us any reason to actually care. Also, keep in mind that this is just the first phase of the Interstellar Initiative. What comes next may be vastly superior and vastly more interesting. At any rate, that is just my personal opinion. Take as much notice of it or as little notice of it as you actually want. And do let me know your thoughts on the whole Interstellar Initiative, at least at this phase of it, in the comments section below. I'll also link the relevant threads in the video description. For players looking on how to make some additional credits, and if void opal mining is not enough for you, then Commander Exiguous will have you covered with a new method on how to make 250 million credits per hour with overlapping panite hotspot mining. Now, I'm not going to go into the details right here on how to do it. I will reserve that for Commander Exiguous. You can see his video linked in the video descriptions. It's very short, very much to the point, and as always with Commander Exiguous, it's very informative. Do take a look. That then brings us to an end of this episode of 3305. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.